Game designers nowadays are really scared of inflicting a state of confusion on their audience. But the truth is, when we were children, confusion did not scare us because everything was confusing. And that's what made us so curious and open to discovery. We need to go back to that. We need to stop being insulted for being confused.
Hey guys, Churchy here. So Guillaume from 9 Studio reached out to me recently to invite me to play through the Outward 2 pre-alpha demo that they put together for PAX. So of course I gave it a go, and I also got to have a chat with Guillaume. So in this video I just want to quickly share my thoughts about the demo, but also while you're watching, keep in mind that the footage you're seeing is from a pre-alpha demo. So it's very early days of development, and of course there were bugs and little issues along the way, but the core concept that the demo lets you experience was a fun time. It's a really solid foundation, and there are already elements of the game that have me very excited to see what the devs will do with Outward 2. And also while I played, like I mentioned, I was able to chat with Guillaume about the game, and I managed to ask a couple of questions, so I'll include some of those at the end of the video. So I did also want to quickly mention that this video is not sponsored. I was free to be as positive or negative as I wanted it to be, and I'm sure that would still be the case even if it was a sponsored video. But I just wanted to mention that because this video is entirely positive, because what I've seen them show off so far in the very limited demo was really, really cool. But in saying that, later down the line, there may be things that I think need work, etc. But in the limited scope of the demo, there was nothing like that. And I can clearly see the effort that has gone into what they have actually implemented so far. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. The demo was fairly limited, and there are a lot of things that haven't been implemented yet, but one thing that they have been focusing on and really pouring a lot of love into is improving the combat, and it really showed in this demo. And that's pretty much what I'll be talking about for the rest of the video. So the combat, it feels smoother. I feel like the animations feel a bit more fluid. Yeah, just they look better and feel smoother. The combat maybe feels a little bit faster. I'm not sure if it actually is so much, or it's just that because things are a lot smoother and feel more fluid, that might be part of why it feels a little bit faster. It's definitely more responsive, and this is the big one. This is the thing that I've probably noticed the most. Every action that you perform as a player, your inputs, they all feel really snappy and quick and responsive. And I started to notice this the more I played, and especially with things like I started to notice like doing a little step dodge that you can do, and then doing a dagger attack. Using those things, it felt like you could, with the dagger example, it felt like you could do a dagger attack really quickly and then actually do a dodge roll. But it felt so responsive that you could consistently kind of pull it off. Like you could be like dagger attack, dodge roll, and then with the step dodge that you have, it felt like you could really wait till the last moment when you're about to get hit and then step out of the way. So little things like that. It feels like the combat is snappy enough and responsive enough to allow you that flexibility of being able to actually do quick little, fancy moves, which is very cool. So all of the weapons, they had a basic attack and a special attack, and you could perform an alternate special attack after you've done a basic attack or after you've done a combination of a few basic attacks. That was really cool. There's already a bit of versatility there. There's also now sneak attack animations for all the weapons, basically. So, the sword, the mace, etc. And there's also attacks that you can perform when you come out of a dodge roll. So all of that is a really nice package and very, very cool. And then this is where it gets very interesting. There's some dual wielding mechanics. You can dual wield different weapons to have access to different sets of attacks on each weapon. So that can lead to some pretty interesting combinations, because you might be using a mace in one hand to do a lot of impact damage and kind of knock your enemies around and knock them down. And then you might be using a dagger in the other hand to get some quick strikes in. Or you might just use a shield in your offhand and just smack the enemies with that as well, and just really double down on the impact with a mace and a shield. And you can also block with the weapons, and you can block with the shield. But you can also attack with the shield, which is very cool. So if you really want to, you can even do the double shield thing. Another big one that I started to notice was that it feels like there were more ways to kind of create space with certain attacks. The spear had a really nice far-reaching attack that it could do, which was one of its special attacks. My favorite was, there was one on the one-handed sword charge attack, where basically you charge in and you kind of do a strike, but it's sort of a spinning attack, and it's got a step in there as well. So basically you'll spin and do a strike and step back sort of thing, and that creates distance between you and the enemy after you've already hit them, which was really cool, and it looks flashy, and I enjoyed that one. Another cool one on the sword was the alternate special attack. So you do a basic attack, and then you could do this one, and it's like a nice wide swing with a backstep, and then you could combo that into the base special on the sword, which is kind of like a forward lunge. So that comboed really well. And these combinations that you can do, you can mix and match with your offhand weapon as well, which was really cool. So you can, like, if you've got the shield or whatever, you can bash them with the shield and then do the alternate sword special with the swing and backstep, and then go into the normal sword special attack with the lunging strike. So I can already feel the just the different things you can do, the different combinations and everything. I can already feel that there's it feels like there's a little bit of extra depth to what you can do, which feels really nice. Basically, it feels like there are just a lot of ways to strike at enemies, but also create some space between you and them, which then, in combination with all of the other stuff I've mentioned, just starts to feel really, really good. Once you start to get to grips with the enemy attack patterns, and you start to see where there's an opportunity to maybe do a strike or a dodge roll or step out of the way, and then do like a basic attack with an alternate special attack combo, and use one of the ones that creates the space that can then set you up for another dodge, or it might even let you avoid the attack altogether. It all feels really good. So another thing that I wanted to briefly talk about in relation to the combat is the skills. There was only a few skills in the pre-alpha demo, but they felt more responsive. Again, just more responsiveness. And there was already some pretty interesting skill interactions going on. And I've heard that there's going to be a lot more different skill interactions and stuff, which is pretty cool. The thing with the skills is it's exciting because the fact that they felt so responsive and fun to use already at such an early stage, it says to me that once there's that full arsenal of skills in the game, and there's all the different builds and stuff, and you've got all your skills going on, and you're ready for battle basically, I'm sure it's going to combo really, really well with the really awesome basic combat that they've got going on. Like their basic combat mechanics are sophisticated enough and interesting enough and really responsive and tight now. So then building on top of that with like adding in epic skills and stuff that you can do, it's going to be cool. I can already see that it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's basically the takeaway here. The combat is feeling really good, and in my opinion, it feels like a big improvement on the first game, which has me very excited, because in my What I'd Love to See in Outward 2 video that I did about a month ago, improved combat was the number one thing that I wanted to see. And honestly, it was like, if they changed nothing else, it was the one thing I was like, I would love to see them improve the combat. And I think they've done it. I think they've done a great job with it, and I had a lot of fun with the demo. And I can't wait to see what they'll do with Outward 2. Very, very, very excited. Really looking forward to it. With just the regions and like the world space you're kind of planning, will it be bigger than the first game? And if so, like sort of how much bigger are you guys aiming for?
The answer is no.
No?
We're trying
Okay.
to have the same scope
Same scope?
as
Okay.
we had in Outward 1.
Yep.
We'd rather focus on increasing quality
Yep.
than quantity,
Yep.
because like a lot of players did end up playing for hundreds of hours
Yep.
of the first Outward. And the way it is structured, it is meant to encourage you to play multiple times through the game. One thing we did expand on is longer quest lines.
Ah, awesome. Yes. That was actually another question I had for you. Like,
That's one thing of the scope that did that's one thing of the scope that did change.
will character creation be expanded and improved? Like,
Significantly.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's one of the
Awesome.
4 areas of focus of what we wanted to improve in Outward 2.
Awesome.
Like the first one is better combat. I think we've proven
Oh, 100%.
there.
The combat feels fantastic.
The second element is better character expression.
Yes.
So
awesome.
not only better character creation, but also feeling like your character is really evolving with you.
Yep.
The third element is better narration. So I believe that the story in Outward 1 was good, but it was not told really well. Like the narration of the story was lacking because we lacked tools, we lacked experience, we lacked budget.
Yep.
But we're really trying to deliver better on this front.
Awesome.
The fourth pillar is to make the world feel more alive. And
Yep.
so
Man.
both visually
All
and in terms of
music.
gameplay, as you can see.
Yep. All music to my ears. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
And
you got me excited.
the last thing, aside from those 4 pillars of improvement, like all those got a bunch of different features, but then there's one more feature that we're adding that you saw at the end of the trailer, is that we're gonna have pack mules.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so that's gonna change the logistics of travel for people who decide to use a mule.
Yep.
But of course, this is Outward, so if you've got a pet animal that is your extra inventory and that animal dies, either because of enemies or starvation or stuff like that, well, that's on you. So you have to make sure that you want the drawbacks to have that extra inventory.
That's
Yep.
cool. That's very cool. It is classic Outward. Like, yeah, love that.
And no mounts. So yeah, that's the time I had.
Yep.
Once again,
awesome.
thank you so much
Yep.
for doing this with me. I get the impression you really enjoyed it. and,
Oh, man, I had a
I'm
great
thrilled
time.
about that.
Well, thank you very much for reaching out and inviting me to test this out.
You're
because
quite welcome.
This has been fantastic. And of course, I'm happy to down the line if you got more tests and stuff that need to be done and anything like that.
Of course.
Always happy.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Excellent. Have a good night.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
All right. Catch you later. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you again to Guillaume and 9dots for inviting me to play through the demo. I had a lot of fun. And thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys are hoping to see in Outward 2 down in the comments. Have a good day or night, whichever it may be. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay,
Excited
but you have
try
to do
that.
the fire,
Yeah,
the,
yeah,
the
go to
charge
fire
from
sigil.
the sigil.
And then do the charge ability. Like the...
Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh,
You're
I gotta-
going to reach him. Go ahead.
Holy crap.
Well, it was not a one shot, but
But it was close. Let's do it again. Oh my god.
because fuck you, that's why.